Hey Embers, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new playthrough from me, which is Gone Home. So I chose this game because according to the wiki for Lake, this was one of the inspirations for Lake the game. I know nothing about it, this is completely blind, so let's go ahead and start.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so, love you. See you soon. Bye.
Okay, so we are on our way home. We've told Mum not to pick us up at the airport, so let's see what happens when we arrive. So it is June 7th, 1995 at 1:15 in the morning. 1995 is my birth year. And here we are at the house, so let's take a look around. Again, this is a completely blind playthrough, so we'll just have to see what happens. So that's our bag. And from what I gather of this game, it is a game where you have to guess what's happened. So there's lots of clues, we have to look at stuff, we have to grab stuff. This is me just figuring out how to play the game, so we've grabbed a cup. I don't think we need this cup, but we're walking around with it anyway. And again, I have no idea what I'm doing at this point, so you'll have to bear with me. But I think we can put this cup back. So let's go ahead and do that. I do also adjust the brightness settings at one point because this game can be quite dark. So we do have a note here, but I think we're going to put the cup back so we can go ahead and read the note. So let's go ahead and see what the note says. It says, Katie, I'm sorry I can't be there to see you, but it is impossible. Please don't go digging around trying to find out where I am. I don't want anyone to know, and they've crossed out Mum and Dad and put anyone instead. We'll see each other again someday, don't be worried. I love you, Sam. Okay, so it looks like Sam is missing and the door is locked. Sam may be our brother or sister. Our name is Katie and whoever that is Sam. So how do we get into the house? I have no idea. So let's continue taking a look around. Again, I do end up changing the brightness at one point, so it's easier for everybody to see. The cup has nothing to do with it. I don't know why I keep grabbing the cup, but there you go. I had a little look to see if there was a spare key under the mat, and it didn't look like there was. I'm obsessed with this cup for some reason. I think it's because it's the first thing we can pick up. So this is me just changing the brightness. I will cut this out and get back to you in a second. And here we are, so it's a little brighter now. Hopefully you can see a little bit better. Let's go ahead and open the cupboard. And presumably we are looking for a key. So we have this Christmas duck. And it looks like there's a key underneath. So this episode does start off a little slow because, of course, I'm figuring out what the heck I'm doing. And there's going to be a little jump cut in a moment, once again, trying to figure out the brightness settings. So what I've done, especially for YouTube, is I've turned the brightness up to the max so you guys can see what's going on. It was very hard for me to see what was going on. So let's go ahead and pop this duck down. We'll just throw it. And spoiler alert, if you are going for 100% on the PlayStation 5, that duck does come in handy a little bit later. And I've figured out we can turn lamps on along the way, which will definitely help. So we have picked that key up. It is telling us to check the contents of our backpack, so let's do that. So we've got our passport, our boarding pass. I don't know if either of those will come in handy a little bit later on. And we do have a spare key that was hidden under the old Christmas duck. And we've also got a map. Obviously we haven't got a lot of the map done yet. So with that, let's go ahead and open the door. Again, this is my luggage, but I don't think it's needed. Just having a look round. Let's go ahead and get that door open. Lovely stuff. So we're in the house, and I was really scared because I didn't know if this was a horror game or not. The atmosphere, it's obviously a storm, so I was getting really scared. We do have a folder here. Let's see. We have an invoice for Wellspring Movers, so they've not long moved into the house, is what I can gather from this. And yeah, I was really scared thinking that this was going to be a horror game with a load of jump scares. But no, we are basically figuring out where the heck everybody is because Mum and Dad aren't here and neither is our brother or sister. So feel free to pause and read the invoice if you need to.
Dear Katie, so much has changed, even just since you've been away. We moved into this house. I'm in a new school. And my big sister being gone for a year doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't feel real. But I'm not gonna let it faze me. I used to tell you everything, and if I can't do it in person, because you're off gallivanting around who knows where, I'll tell it to this journal. Just like I was talking to you.
So it is our sister that is missing, and throughout the game we do get those little audio snippets from our sister. That one was at the new house. You can go back and listen to those audio recordings if you would like. Of course, I'm going to be quiet while those audio recordings play so you can hear them. But we've moved into a new house. I've been off gallivanting the world, evidently, and our sister has moved into a new school. We're just having a look round, and what have we found here? A note. And this is someone's directions to work from the new house. So I will say sometimes some of these notes are really difficult to read. I love the premise of the game. I love the concept, and you'll see as we go on. I really do enjoy this game, but I do find some of these notes a little bit difficult to read, so you're going to have to bear with me. But this is, I would guess, either mum or dad's directions to work. So let's carry on. Now, as you can tell, I played this game and I'm doing a voiceover after the fact. I wish I hadn't done that, to be honest. I wish I'd have found some way to live record my thoughts and feelings. But unfortunately, that was not the case. So what I'm doing is I'm recording a part and then I'm doing a voiceover afterward. So we are moving into a closet now. We have a board game there. Let's see what board game this is. And have a quick look. Over the Alps, a novel travelling game. Nice. So we know that I like travelling. So does someone like novels? Perhaps. So let's go ahead and put this board game back. Oh, we just sort of threw it on the floor there. Oh dear. I am trying to put everything back nicely. But again, I am still learning the controls and everything else. So are there any other clues here? It looks like we have a school jacket, and this is a jacket for maybe our mother. I think that might have been our mother's work. But as far as I can tell, nothing else to see there. So let's now move on. We're going to turn all the lamps on as we go as well, so it gets a little bit brighter. We have a bookcase here. Pick up one of my trophies. So we have regional track and field finals, April the 21st, 1990. Girls 100 metre relay, first place. So we are a sports person? Or a sporty person. We have a Mexican skull here, a Day of the Dead skull. Not entirely sure why we have that, but maybe that will be a clue later on. And I've got another trophy here, regional track and field finals, April the 22nd, 1991, I think that said. Again, I should be looking at these a little bit more closely. I'm going through to see all the books as well, to see if there's any clues in the books. I can't see anything. Let's go ahead and open the cabinet. There's nothing in here. So let's move on now to the next one. Nothing in that cabinet either. But we do have a book here. What is this? The Holy Bible. So somebody in this house is religious. Interesting. I wonder if that plays into the story at all. Some people do just have Bibles in their house, to be fair, so they may not be intrinsically religious, but we'll see if that means anything. But we have a Holy Bible and a Mexican Day of the Dead skull. Two things that don't typically tend to go together. Maybe they do. Maybe they do, actually. Lovely painting there. Lots of paperwork. Nothing I can really see here. So let's go and look in the drawers. And we do have something here. We have a letter. So let's go ahead and read that letter. So again, I think that says, Dear Jan. I do struggle to read these, so I'll try my best. It's so good to hear from you again. All this new house business sounds like quite the adventure. Remember the little dorm room we shared freshman year? When we were miserable, fantasizing about our dream homes. I always said I wanted a mansion. You said you just wanted a house in the woods. Look who got both. Somebody up there likes you. I could use some of that magic. Send me some lotto numbers. I'll play them. Seriously. But I shouldn't be complaining about this good old split level we've had since Bob got transferred to Winnipeg. We just got new vinyl siding. Jealous yet? Let me know if you ever want to trade places. So, how are the girls doing? Has Katie left on her big European adventure yet? Speaking of jealous, right back soon. I miss you, Roomie. Carol. So it looks like our mother's called Jan and her friend is Carol, and that's what this letter is all about. So Carol seems a little jealous that we've got this house. Her partner is called Bob. Again, I don't know if any of that will become relevant at one point, but we do have a telephone directory. It's so cool playing a game from 1995. The game's not from 1995. I mean set in 1995. That's what I meant. So we have a door to our right here. That's just a grate. We're fine. Checking if there's anything hidden under the carpet, evidently, or the rug. And that door is unfortunately locked, so we are going to have to go and find another way. And I'm telling you, every crack of thunder, I was jumping. Every noise was freaking me out. So I guess that's what's intended. But we have a bathroom here. Some apple soap. I don't think that's going to be relevant, let's be honest. And we can turn the tap on. And again, if you are going for the trophy on the PlayStation 5, that becomes important. But for the purposes of our playthrough, it isn't. You can also flush the toilet, so of course we're going to do that. No need. Absolutely no need. And my one criticism, not of the game necessarily, but of the PlayStation 5, is that there is no platinum trophy for this game. You can only 100% it, which does my head in. Please give me a platinum trophy. But we have an author magazine here, Stephen King, 50 contests with up to $21,000 in prizes, critiques the art of feedback, get published, The Secret, The Blank Page, how top 20 authors conquer it. So we may have an author in the house. Perhaps that's Dad. So we have a box here. What is this? Plasters, okay. Again, I don't know if they're going to be relevant, but it's nice that you can just pick up whatever you want, really. And here's me being a good citizen and putting everything back in its proper place. So I don't think there's many clues here. We can grab some toilet paper. I don't think we need that either. Not many clues, apart from the fact that there may be an author in the house. We've also got some cleaning powder, which I think we're good. I don't think we need that. Hopefully we don't need that. So with that, I think we can exit the bathroom very, very soon. Let's go ahead and do that. There was a light this whole time. I need to remember to turn on the lights. And we can either go upstairs or we can go to the left. So I think we're going to go to the left. And the lamp is on. So we have a family portrait here. Sam, Katie, Mum Jan and Dad Terry. Right, so we were right that our mum is called Jan and our father's called Terry. Our sister is Sam and we are Katie. So we can pick the phone up, but I don't think anything happens. So I'm assuming that because of the storm, the dial tone means that we cannot call anybody, which is very ominous. We've got some messages to play as well.
Sam. Sam. Hello. Sam. Sam, where are you? Really? I need to talk to you. Please be there.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so love you. See you soon. Bye.
So that last message we already heard for the intro of the game, and we rang Sam, really upset. I wonder why. So we have a letter here. Sam, Daniel from the old neighbourhood called. He wants to come see the new house. Call him back. Mom, Daniel is a total weirdo. The only reason I ever hung out with him in the first place is he had a Nintendo when we were little. Okay, so it looks like an old childhood friend, Daniel, wants to talk to Sam, and Sam does not want to talk to him. We're not sure why yet, but she thinks he's a weirdo, so maybe he is. So again, we can go upstairs. We do have another chest of drawers here, though, so let's have a little look. Again, that is the phone directory. We've got some pens and pencils that we can pick up. I don't think we need to, though, but we're going to anyway. And there's also an itinerary, worldwide timetable, okay. So I'm not sure who this itinerary is for. Ah, it's for us, Katie. So it's our flights, our flight number, and our estimated time of arrival, etc., etc. Again, that may come into play a little bit later. So with that, I think we're going to move to the left. Yeah, let's do that. And, oh, a very ominous corridor here. Let's get that light on straight away. So we can check our location in the house. Here we are. The map is opening up slowly. As we can see, the right is locked at the moment. So let's continue on with the left. And we have the postcard that I sent. So I sent a postcard from Paris. I'm clearly very well travelled. So this is from the 8th of February 1994, so last year. Hi Mum, Dad and Sam. I'm in Paris. I've done many Parisian things, including eating le petit déjeuner. I've not said that right. I'm wearing a beret. I'm going to have lots of film to develop when I get back. Sorry, I'm really struggling to read this. Sam, I'm bringing you back something from the Shakespeare Book Company, since you're my favourite sister. Love you all, Katie. And then she's wrote the new address and put weird. So I am using the terms I and we interchangeably for Katie because we are Katie in this game. Let's go ahead and get the cupboards open again. We're doing a lot of snooping, aren't we? Proper investigations taking place here. So let's have a look in this drawer. Quite a lot of things. We have a pack of cards. Again, I don't know if they're going to be relevant at all. They are Japanese playing cards, it looks like, but I could be wrong there, so don't quote me. And we also have a newspaper article. This is me trying to figure out how to put the cards back, so let's just throw them. Yeah. We have a newspaper article. It's an obituary. Oscar Doc Mason. Oscar Mason, 60, of Boone County, died peacefully last month in his home. Mr. Mason was born on September the 8th, 1933, in the house that would be his home for the rest of his life. He attained his degree in pharmacy at a young age and returned to Boone County to practice. He quickly became a well-loved figure at the corner of the community. In the decades preceding his passing, he was seldom seen outside his home. A service will be held this Sunday at the First Methodist Church at 1 p.m. All are welcome. His survivors include his nephew, Terence Greenbrier. Oh, that's our dad, Terry. As well as in spirit, the people of Boone County, to whom he provided wellness and comfort. So we got the house from Oscar, our father's uncle. So I think that would be our great uncle. So that's how we got this big house. It was an inheritance. There's also a photo here. It's a little bit dark, but it's someone in an army uniform. Pink hair. Interesting. We don't know anyone in the army, do we? Well, I guess we do. So nothing else of note here. Let's continue on. And again, this first episode is a little bit slow while I get my bearings and figure out what's going on. So let's pull this string. We're in another little closet, little cupboard, and we have a note here. Welcome, new student. We hope that you are as excited about your first day at Goodfellow High School as we are. Please be sure to bring the following with you on your first day of classes so that you can get right into the swing of things. 1 sturdy folder with pockets for each of your 6 class periods, 1 lined notebook per period, or 1 large notebook with 6 divided sections, at least 6 pens, blue or black ink, and 6 pencils, 1 box of coloured pencils, a standard combination lock for your assigned locker, a nutritious lunch, or $2.50 for a lunch provided by the school cafeteria, a positive attitude. Please remember to get plenty of sleep the night before and be ready for the first bell to ring at 8 a.m. See you soon, and again, welcome. Beth Valance, I think that says, principal. So nothing major of note there, I don't think.
Oh my god. You are so lucky you finished high school before we moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class. And I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a sudden, every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant. I just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button. Because now maybe nobody knows my name, but they all know who I am. The Psycho House girl. Great.
Interesting. So our new home is known as the Psycho House. So what happened here? We also have a button badge that says Heavens to Betsy. That's on Sam's school bag. Now, why would this house be known as the Psycho House? That's not filling me with much happiness there. So let's now continue on into this room. And the first thing we need to do is get that light on straight away. Now, the sound might be a little bit janky for this episode. I do apologise. I am having to lean forward to read the notes and things like that, so it may be a little louder and a little quieter at points. But we have marker pens here. We have a paper. Let's have a read of this. Pioneer CLD D703. Combination Laserdisc / compact disc player. MSRP $999.99. Quite a lot in 1995. So I won't read all of it, but the top seems to be telling you what the compact disc player is, the specs, etc. And the bottom paragraph reads, "They say that a jack of all trades is a master of none. I have to disagree. Mastery is not a question of specialisation, but sureness of purpose and dedication to craft. If you happen to be in the market for a combination LD-CD player, then you'll be glad to know that Pioneer seems to share this particular," and it cuts off there. So it looks like somebody, presumably Dad, is reviewing Laserdiscs and things like that, and they haven't quite finished their work. We also have a billboard here, not a billboard, which says lots of different things. It looks like Dad is a conspiracy theorist. You can do better. What if JFK? There's a lot of things about John F. Kennedy on this board, lots of other things scribbled out. Again, I'm not going to read everything, but it looks like our father is a bit of a conspiracy theorist, perhaps. Interesting. So we'll keep that in mind, but let's move on from this board. Let's go ahead and open some drawers. We'll turn the lamp on as well. We have a 3-ring binder here. We can put that back. I don't think it's of any purpose. So let's go ahead and put that back. But there's a question mark here. Oh, there's a false draw. I've always wanted one of them. It's a bit fancy, isn't it? So what was hidden in this false drawer? A letter. And I was right, this is Dad's office. This is a letter addressed to our father, and this is going to be a bugger to read, so bear with me. So this was written August the 10th, 1972, and it says, "Dear Terence, I write on what I hope and imagine is a joyous occasion. News reaches me that you are newly married to a wonderful young woman. I have had more than a little time to consider my past, and my family, and my thoughts have often lingered on your development and welfare in the 10 years since we last met. Your marriage gives me much reassurance in this regard. You were always welcome at Arbor Hill," and then there's a bit of a rip there. "I will understand if you feel you accept this invitation, so maybe can't accept this invitation. Yours very sincerely, Oscar Mason." So this letter is quite interesting because according to the obituary, Oscar's obituary, he was a pillar of the community, people really liked him, that's sort of what I got from it. And yet at school it's being called the Psycho House to Sam, and in that letter it seemed like Oscar thought Terry wouldn't want to come back to the house. So very interesting stuff. So we have a crumpled up letter here. "John Russell opened his eyes and saw them, the stars, twinkling as if he were lying on the grass in his family's yard in Massachusetts, even though that place was a million miles away. No, he blinked the sleep from his eyes, looking through the carbon-reinforced safety glass of the space station Archimedes. Yes, he was a long way from home, but the future needed him." John Russell's head swam. He felt incredibly drunk despite not having touched a drop in hours. He vomited onto his feet, his bare feet. He stared for a moment, processing his sick-flecked toenails, nice, scanning up his bare shins, bare knees. He was completely naked. He looked up and met the eyes of a gorgeous blonde woman wearing a tight polymer fibre tunic. The fabric that strained at the seams to contain her generous bosom, was emblazoned with the phrase, "Matter Transference Operator." Then he passed out. John Russell had crossed the gap in time. Only messages has passed before, and there are some spelling errors here as well. But now man. They needed him now more than ever. Changing the past was no longer good enough. The instructions form the council had been clear. What to procure, what to construct from it, how to assemble it, so he made the machine, how to transport him boldly across time, and now he stood there on the bridge of the spaceship, Archimedes, end of the vessel, because only he, who had saved the president's life twice before, could helm the naive crew to their destiny, the fate of the galaxy. Okay, so it seems to me that our dad is a sci-fi writer as well as reviewing tapes and whatnot, and that was a severe case of writer's block if ever I saw one. That really was. That was hard to read. It almost looked as though he was drunk writing some of that, so we'll see if there's any evidence of that. But that was a hard read. So we've got a picture there. Let's now go onto the filing cabinet, and the top drawer needs a combination, it would seem, which we don't have yet. So we're looking out for a combination for the drawer. The other two drawers have nothing of importance in them. So let's now move on. Again, I'm sorry, there's a lot of reading. I am doing my best. So we have a big bookcase here. Again, I'm just scanning the bookcase to see if there's anything of note. But the mystery deepens. It really does. And we have here a hidden bottle, yes, of whiskey. So Dad is drinking because he's got a severe case of writer's block, perhaps. maybe things aren't going so well for him. We'll have to wait and see. But yes, the mysteries are definitely deepening. There's a lot going on. And of course, the main question is, where is everybody? So we now have something in here. So this is an electrical inspection form, and I'm not sure I'm going to read the whole thing because I think this playthrough is going to run for far too long if I read everything. But the basic gist is, although the electrics are up to standard, there has been a lot added over the last 100 years, and as such, some of the lights flicker unpredictably, thank you very much, some of the floorboards creak, etc, etc. But please feel free to pause if you would like to read this full inspection. Basically, they're not taking any further action at the moment. Now, I wonder if that's by choice, by convenience, or if they can't afford it, I'm not sure. We can turn the fan on for absolutely no reason, why not? So let's keep investigating. And again, the mystery does deepen somewhat. Is there anything in this drawer? No. So we can now move on to what looks to be, let's have a look, let's get that light on, some sort of library room. And I think I spend far too long in here, to be honest, because I literally see if there's anything in any of the books. So I literally scan all of the bookcases. So apologies if this makes you feel a bit dizzy. We're just doing a quick scan of all the bookcases to see if there's anything of note. I've watched enough mysteries to know that there's normally a hidden book lever. So we're seeing if there's a hidden book lever. Spoiler alert, I don't think there is. So we're going to keep looking. There is a cabinet here, so maybe we'll have a look through the cabinet at the moment. In a moment, sorry. Yeah, let's go ahead and open this cabinet. And what do we have here? A box. And in the box is copies of our dad's second book. So he is a published author. So let's have a look. Oh, there's something under there. The Accidental Pariah, Terence L. Greenbrier. A message from our future saved the president's life once, but within the next 24 hours there will be another attempt and the lines of communication are down. A James Bond for today's audience. Oh, well, and then another one said compelling. So it has gone down quite well, his second book. And again, I think he is a conspiracy theorist, but look what he's hiding. A naughty book. A naughty magazine. We won't be reading that. And Katie's just said, geez, Dad. So he is hiding naughty magazines in his books, possibly suggesting that his marriage isn't going so well. But I suppose you can read those magazines if your marriage is good. And you might see me jump there, that thunder scared the ever-living hell out of me. But the fact that he's hiding his adult magazines suggests that he's not supposed to be reading them and that his wife would be not best pleased with him. So let's continue on looking through the library. And I would kill to have a library like this, by the way. How stunning. Look at all these books. I would absolutely love it. And again, we are flicking through them. I think you can see the titles of certain books, not all of them. But I don't think there is anything of note. But if I know a library, there's always a hidden door. Always. So with that, let's continue on. We have this reading area here. And again, it looks like another magazine. This time it seems to be a teenage magazine. So True Stories, I Was a Teenage Drag Queen. Readers tell us about their worst moments. 90210, Does Anybody Still Care? The Male Gaze and How to Subvert It. And Sarah Holst Not Gathering Moss. So that could be Sam's magazine, seeing as it's a teenage magazine. It's not hidden, so I would assume that it is Sam's. I mean, Dad could also be reading teenage girl magazines if he wanted to. I mean, I won't say too much about that. But the fact that Dad hid his magazines, I would assume that that is Sam's magazine there. So we're just checking if there's anything hidden, and there doesn't seem to be. So let's continue on. Again, we're going to be looking through the bookcases. I'm trying to go quicker because I know this bit is a little bit boring, but we found a folder. Let's go ahead and read this letter, and we have 0451 there. So I'm guessing that's the combination to the filing cabinet. So this letter is dated November the 1st, 1994. Dear Terence, David asked me to write you regarding the reviews you've been submitting the last few months. Frankly, they're becoming more trouble than they're worth, from an editing standpoint. There's a word limit. It's your job to stay under it, not mine to cut back to it. Even then, it's becoming harder and harder to weed out the tangents and non-sequiturs from the usable copy without heavy rewrites. The readers of Home Theatre Aficionado want to hear about the quality and value of the hardware, not ruminations on your childhood. If it were up to me, I wouldn't be writing this letter. I'd just be cutting you loose. There's tons of guys half your age who would take half your rate to write stuff I could actually use. But David's known you for a long time, and he's the boss, so I'm giving you one more shot on his say-so. You should write him a nice note thanking him for his patience and generosity. Look through your old stuff and start submitting reviews like that again. Then everybody will be happy. Brent Kirkwood, reviewers editor, Home Theatre Aficionado magazine. So, he's been asked to write reviews for a magazine, and they're not going very well. He's very close to getting fired, I would say. And I'm guessing that also means publishing his books isn't going very well, or else why would he need to be doing reviews? So here we have A Stranger Under My Roof, and this is Understanding Teens. So I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm guessing that Dad is having trouble understanding Sam, and so he's bought a book that may help him with that. Which could also hint at communication issues. It seems that Dad has a lot of communication issues. He's hiding his magazines from Mum, and he doesn't know how to speak to Sam, his teenage daughter. So, yes, a lot of communication issues with Dad. But we do now have the combination for the filing cabinet, so let's go ahead and do that. So it was 0451, I think? And let's see what he's hiding in the filing cabinet. So it looks like quite an important document, and it is from attorneys. Dear Mr. Mason, please find enclosed your original document and a typed copy for your records. The notarized copy has been filed at our offices. Thank you for entrusting our firm with this important matter. So it is a law firm. Mr. Mason, of course, being our father's uncle. And it looks to be a last will and testament. I, Oscar Mason, possessing full competence of mind and memory, and after full survey of valued items to my name, do hereby declare this document my last will and testament. The following shall hold true upon my passing. I declare that as a lifelong resident of Boone County, that I am unmarried and have no children. I declare that I have no outstanding debts to my name, to any creditors living or dead. I do hereby bequeath every item of value of which I may die possessed, including the dwelling and surrounding acres located at Arbor Hill, as well as any and all personal property and sealed accounts and moneyed accounts to my nephew Terence L. Greenbrier Jr. of Ellis County. In the event that said Terence L. Greenbrier Jr. should predecease me, then and in such event the bequest to his shall fall, and the same is bequeathed to his children. So this is his last will and testament. I think that's the same thing, just a written copy. So Oscar bequeathed the house, as we guessed, to his nephew Terence, our father. But the question is why? Is there no more living family, or is there more to the story? So we're continuing on down the hallway, and this is a huge house, so we may end up only doing one more room. So here we are in the living room, and the television absolutely scared the heck out of me because, of course, you can hear the telly going there, and it is a severe weather warning for the western region. Storm watch. Yes, we can tell it's a storm. So let's have a look around the living room. And again, we'll probably be wrapping this episode up fairly soon. So what do we have here? A book, Making Friends. So this says Sam thought this might help Dad. So Dad can't communicate with Sam, as we've already discovered. So he's given her a book on how to make friends, which also implies that Sam might be struggling to make friends.
You know that feeling where the first moment you see someone, it's like they have a big gold star around them, and you have to get to know them? Well, there's this girl. I think she's a senior. She's usually dressed kind of punk, but sometimes I see her in this, army uniform, and she's always drawing in this notebook, looking so intense. I had no idea how I would ever, have an excuse to talk to her. Till I noticed she and her friends hang out and play Street Fighter at the 7-Eleven every day after school.
So Sam mentioned a girl there that looked like she was in an army uniform. So we're going to leave this room and head back to where we were before, because you will remember, I've just noticed something there as well. In this drawer here, we have a photo of a girl in an army uniform. So this must be the girl that Sam is talking about in that particular diary entry. So it seems that she's took a liking to a girl at school. Hopefully they can be friends. And we have a crumpled note here that's going to be terrible to read. Hey, are you the new girl, Sam? I'm Tommy. I'm at the back behind you. Wave if you get this and write back. Hi, Tommy. Yes, I'm Samantha. And yes, I'm new. What's up? I just thought since you're new, maybe you could use a friend. I don't have a lot of friends either, and so I thought I'd ask you something if you don't mind. Do you mind? And then there's a yes or no, and Sam has circled no to say, no, I don't mind. What did you want to ask? Was it just your uncle that went psycho, or does it run in the family? So I think Tommy's being quite mean there, and Sam has quite rightfully ripped it up and attempted to throw it in the bin, which is exactly what I would do. So we're back in the living room. We have a painting there. We have a fireplace, and next to it, oh, we need to move that, is a matchbook. If all them logs go up, you're chuffed, love. Get that matchbook away from the fire. So as I say, I think we're just going to be looking through the living room, and that will be the end of the episode. Sorry, it's been quite a long one. There's also some candles here, and I think I spend a bit of time seeing if I can light the candles, because I wondered if it was a clue, but you can't light the candles. But I thought that it might do something if we lit the candles, but no. So let's continue on around the living room. What do we have here? We have a letter. Again, addressed to Terry, our dad. And again, I realise I've been reading the dates wrong. So this is actually the 15th of August, 1994, because the American dates are backwards. Hi, Terry. Enclosed, please find a Pioneer CLDD 708 unit with remote and cables. We need a half-page review for the October issue, so that gives you about 2 weeks to get us the copy for edit. Standard stuff like you gave me on the CLDD 502. It's a combi player, so check its CD playback with a few discs, as well as Laserdisc. And they want us to definitely hit the signal-to-noise ratio and toslink stuff for high-end buyers. Looking forward to your take on it. Enjoy the unit, Dave. So again, Dad is still reviewing things like VHS tapes. And this is just where the mail has come from. Obviously the new address. The address had to be changed on the box. But you can see that the VHS is not in there. So we move over, and I'm getting stuck on the table there. So let's have a look on the table while we're here quickly. Oh, we just yeeted that mug. Got some more books. We've got what looks to be a half-eaten pizza. No, it's fully eaten. Pizza's been eaten. There was some drawers there, and I can't remember if I go back and open the cabinet. No, I do. Thought I'd missed the cabinet for a second there. We do have another button badge, which I'm assuming is Sam's, because she had one on her work bag, school bag, sorry, and this is Bratmobile. So yes, I'm guessing it's Sam's. Nothing else really of note in this cabinet. So back to this one, we have some VHS tapes there. Some more VHS tapes, but yet the recorder is missing, interestingly. Not entirely sure why. Maybe we'll find the recorder at one point. But we have the Dark Crystal there. A film I've not actually seen. And I think some of these VHSs do have other movies on them as well. We have a door there, but we don't want to go through that. Someone's made a little fort, which is quite cute. So let's grab the couch pillow. Grab this one as well. We've got a drink down there, I think. Yeah, some pop and a book. Hauntings and Poltergeists by Leonard O'Rourke. So this is all about poltergeists and hauntings, as you can see. Again, I'm not going to read the full thing, but whoever made this fort was interested in ghost stories. I'm guessing Sam. So let's pop that back. And we'll continue on. But did Sam do the fort on her own, or was someone else with her? We have a hidden ticket here for the Coliseum, the showplace of Oregon. And this is to go and see Pulp Fiction in the cinema. So I'm not sure who was going to the cinema, but maybe we'll find out a little bit later on. So let's pop that on the table for now. Oh, we'll just yeet it onto the floor. Why not? So we do have a drawer here. Nothing of note, really. We have a newspaper there. We do have a TV listing. So it's showing us that the X-Files is on. I'm not sure why that's relevant. Well, you know, she was reading a book about poltergeists, so maybe she enjoys the X-Files as well. That would be Sam again, showing you lots of other movies and TV shows from the 90s as well, which is really fun to see. I have, of course, seen a few of these myself, not all of them, though. So we'll continue on. It's Mum's old work mug. Ah, so maybe Mum was watching the X-Files, but we have... Mum was part of a forestry service, so she's a forester, is Mum. Which is amazing. I love that. Well, she was a forester, because it's her old work mug. So what does she do now? We've got a coaster there. It's obviously fell into the drawer. For some reason, I was adamant that this needed to go on the coaster. I have no idea, because it's clearly not going to happen. And we don't want to break Mum's old work mug, bless her. So let's just pop that back where it was. But I don't know. No, we're throwing it again. I don't know why I was adamant that that needed to go on a coaster. So nothing in the bin here. We have more VHS tapes. And a wire leading to the lamp there. Again, nothing really unusual. And we have a cassette. Now, there's a few of these cassettes dotted about. I won't be playing them for long, and you'll hear why. Right, that's quite enough of that. Let's pop that tape away. It did say something on it, so let's have a look what it said. It said Girl Scout and Role Model. Now you'll understand why that's important a little bit later on. Pop the tape back in, but it's coming straight back out. I was trying to see if we could play the B-side, but we can't. So let's get that tape back out. So we have another letter. And this one's from February the 3rd, 1978, bearing in mind it's 1995 now. And again, it's for our dad, Terry. Terry, hey man, how have you been? I know you're a published author and everything now, but my editor at Hi-Fi Aficionado has too much review work to go around, and he's looking for another freelancer. Naturally, I thought of you. You were saying in your last letter how much of a pain it's been trying to find a publisher for your latest work of literature. And writing stereo reviews is dead simple. Sit at home with a glass of scotch, listen to some records, and write up how it sounds, and then get paid. I've included some issues of the mag to use as examples. If you're interested, send some samples to my editor, and tell him your old college chum Mike sent you. Here's the address, and then we have an address. Do it, Mike. Now, if you remember, in the library, we had a strongly worded letter from David, who wasn't happy with our work progress. And then we have another one of Dad's books, which is The Accidental Saviour, again on JFK, and again with the protagonist of John Russell. So I'm guessing it's a series of some kind. It seems to have been, again, quite well received. So what's happened? So let's continue to look around the living room, and we have lots of VHS tapes here. Again, some familiar titles that you may recognise. But no VHS player, which is really interesting. And I'm zooming in on some of these titles because I know you'll know quite a few of them. And then we have a lot of vinyls as well. I do still have VHSs and vinyls in my collection, funny enough. So this is very nostalgic. Love it. So with that, I think we've looked around the entirety of the living room. There is another room behind us, but I think we're going to leave that for next episode. So this is where we're going to leave the first part of Gone Home. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Like I say, I know that it's quite a slow start, but it's going to be quite a short playthrough. I think only 4 episodes. So I really hope that you're enjoying it. And until next time, bye Embers.